Consider this physics question. The latent heat of fusion of ice is 80 calories per gram. How much heat is required to change 10 grams of ice at Q degrees Celsius into water at the same temperature? So this question is on heat capacity. Particularly, this has to do with latent heat of fusion. So that is the amount of heat required to change to change a solid at its melting point to liquid at that same temperature. So that's what we call latent heat of fusion. So, that that heat energy that we are talking about does not depend on temperature change. So when ice melts, at its melting point, it will completely melt from ice to water without change in temperature. Temperature does not really matter in that case. So because when ice reaches its melting point, the melting point of ice is 0 degrees Celsius. So it will melt from ice to water, still maintaining that 0 degrees Celsius, completely to water at 0 degrees Celsius. Then, after completely melting to water, then if you still apply more heat, that's when the temperature starts increasing again. But for this question now, this is a direct question. So the formula for latent heat of fusion, let's take it as H. So whether latent heat of fusion or latent heat of vaporization. So the amount of heat required is equal to M times L. This L stands for the latent heat of fusion. So that is the formula. H stands for the quantity of heat that we are requiring, that we need. M stands for the mass of the given solid. So looking at this question, we are given 10 grams of ice. So H is equal to 10 times. L is the latent heat of fusion of ice. So that is 80 cal per gram, 80 calories per gram. So if you multiply these two together, you have 800 grams. So this is the amount of heat, 800 calories, So that's the formula, that's the unit of heat in this case. Calorie is the unit of heat in this case. So the correct answer is 800 calories. So because they require the amount of heat required. So thank you. God bless you.